Good day, everybody. Meteorologist Mark Muldering here. As always, I want to thank you for joining me for this edition of Weather Eastern. We have a monster of a storm across the eastern third of the country, spreading heavy snow from the deep south all the way to Canada into the northeast. And we have a severe weather aspect side of the system as well. In the southeast, we'll be dealing with tornadoes, damaging wind, large hail. I'll break out all the severe weather maps and my second Call Snowfall Map for this major storm. And I'll break it all down for you with the numerical models. I'll show you what the models are doing and what I think is going to happen. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, question or comment down below. I love to read your questions or comments, and there are timestamps down below if you wish to skip ahead. Let's get right into it. All right, taking a look at the impact confidence scale here across the eastern part of the country. Yes, I have big impacts here deep into the deep south. This will be winding down this is starting late Friday, March 11th. So right around 6 or 7 p.m. in the evening, we'll really start to ramp it up here west of the Appalachians and in some parts of the Appalachians here, eastern Tennessee, eastern Kentucky, all the way up into Pennsylvania, especially overnight, Friday night into Saturday morning. That's where things really get cranking in this extreme zone. I don't often put this extreme zone on the map, but blizzard conditions are a distinct possibility here, and let's go into all the details. All right, so take a look at my second Call Snowfall Map here. I am a bit concerned here. There will be blizzard conditions up here into this foot or more category, this lighter pink, Binghamton, Syracuse, Burlington. You'll kind of be on the edge between 8 to 12 and a foot or more. And then eastern Adirondacks, northern Vermont, I think that's where you'll get the 18 to 24 inch variety. So just north of Scranton here, Scranton, you are in the 8 to 12 inch range. Endless Mountains, you're kind of on the 8 to 12, 12 to 18. So you really a solid foot, isolated amount, 16 to 18 inches here into this lighter pink zone in upstate New York, northeast Pennsylvania. And then back towards Pittsburgh, Erie, Buffalo, about 6 to 8 inches. Harrisburg, I have you in the solid 3 to 6 here. I've inched this line a little bit further to the east, as well as the 6-inch line, as well as some of the low pressure models here have indicated a slight wobble to the east with this low pressure. Cleveland, I think you'll be in the solid 3 to 5 inch category back through here. A lot of that will fall Friday night. So here you have it. A lot of rain on the east side of the system, so a lot of high uncertainty as a lot of this that will fall will be on the second half of the storm as the rain is changing to snow. And then back on the back end here, that'll start as wet snow. It'll turn to light, fluffy snow and blow and drift around easily. Let's take a look at all the models. So taking a look at the northeast, the latest NAM 3 kilometers showing a wide swath of snowfall across the northeast. Look at this. The big winner is right across upstate north, central upstate New York here into Vermont, where we'll see those really high totals, 17 to 24 inches in some of these higher totals. And then look at this, Binghamton right around 11 inches, 6 inches near Syracuse, backed by 3 inches in Cleveland, 6 inches in Erie. In the eastern, there's a big sharp cutoff here on the NAM in the eastern Catskills and Poconos. Wilkes-Barre, Scranton up towards a foot there. So this has increased over the last couple of runs. And if we take a look at the GFS, it is showing quite an interesting round here as well. Look at that. Upstate New York, really the bullseye into Vermont. Look at this. Syracuse, 17 inches. Binghamton, 8 inches with the hilltops around here a foot easily. Same with Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, right around 9 inches with locally a foot on the hilltops, 10 inches around Erie, 5 inches around Cleveland, Albany around 8 inches, Burlington 9 inches, and these mountaintops 24, 25 inches in Vermont. Look at that. And then we get over to the high-resolution Euro. Take a look at this. So this is a bit more interesting. It brings I'll show you on the models, the low pressure tracks a little bit further to the east. That brings the rain-snow line further to the east. Not ready to pull the trigger just yet on this snowfall, although I have brought my snowfall amounts, as you saw, a little bit further to the east here. So 9 inches around Binghamton, locally higher, foot into the higher elevations here. Wilkes-Barre right around 8 inches, Cleveland around 3, Erie around 7, Pittsburgh around 4. I think that's a little underdone. Definitely going to see the 6 to 8 inch variety, especially with the fluffy snow. Some of these totals will be a little bit higher inland with these mesoscale banding. The models sometimes have a hard time with these mesoscale bandings. And you know what? Let's throw the Canadian in here as well. Let's take a look at this. Wow. This is quite a big, remarkable run here. Look at this, a foot or more in Binghamton and Syracuse, right around 17 inches, 12 inches in Erie. Look at that. That's some pretty, these hilltops south of Syracuse, definitely getting into the 19-inch category. Adirondacks, easily 16, 20 inches in some of these. Wilkes-Barre around 13, 1 inch in New York Central Park. St. Mary's around 9 inches, 11 inches in Erie. And look at that, pushing 5 to 6, 7 inches there in Cleveland. So that is interesting, to say the least. All right, let me show you the national view. GFS, there you go. So most of this falls below or before late Friday into Saturday. Here it is. This is the big show. Starting in the south, look at these snowfall totals, 2-3 inches, and then look at that into eastern Tennessee, 8 to 14 inches, into Kentucky, and then that's where you get into the explosive development into the northeast. Let's take a look at the high-resolution Euro, and there you have it. Look at this. So painting a similar picture, maybe not as far to the south here, but still, this is a widespread snowfall, 6-inch plus, west of the Appalachians, in the Appalachians, and then northeastward into the northeast. And if we take a look at the latest damn 3 kilometer, let's take a look at that. And showing a very similar situation. Look at that. That's a bit troubling. So a band of 6 to 8 inches even into northern Alabama here. So that's pretty intense. All the way up into Tennessee, eastern Kentucky, and into the northeast. So the NAM is really expanding its snowfall amounts as well. All right, let's take a look at the surface map of the high-resolution Euro. We're going to start off with the national view here. Let's put this into motion. You start to see some of these showers and thunderstorms. This is going to be the severe weather outbreak that we start to see across the Florida Panhandle for your Friday. And I'm going to show you those enhanced levels on the Severe Storms Prediction Center overlay momentarily here. But take a look. There's the energy to the north. You have that cold front diving across the central part of the United States, and then let's go back here, and then you have this low pressure forming just north of New Orleans here. You have this snow developing here across the mid-Mississippi River Valley, northeastward up into the eastern Great Lakes. So this is where you're going to start to see the energy come together. The Euro does have another low just off the Carolina coast here that's kind of forming a secondary low already, but this is the primary low across the Gulf Coast, and we see all this snow streaming out ahead. Take a look at this. This really starts to take effect just before sunrise on Saturday morning. You'll start to see this really intensify, 998 millibars, and see all this brighter convection. This is that severe weather outbreak I was talking about. That'll be ongoing throughout the night. Panama City into northeastward into southern Georgia will be getting pummeled here with damaging wind, large hail, and tornado threat. And look at that. That snow blossoms all the way into Canada. This is a very large area of snow, and it's like a conveyor belt. Train tracks or train cars on a train track going over and over the same area again. You continue to pile up the snow. Look at this. There's a double barrel low here, 994 millibars. And look at that. We get to just southeast of D.C. This is by just before noon, and then we bomb this low out. The Euro is a bit further east here, bringing some heavier snow into eastern Pennsylvania, eastern New York, and into New England here. And we see, look how this really bombs out here, bringing the rain snow line much further east than the other models here. Look at these isobars. The wind is going to be howling out of the northwest. So if we take a look at the GFS, we're going to start to see the differences here. Take a look. This is later Friday. Start to see some convection in the similar areas here, and this low pressure really starts to form. It's a similar location to the Euro, but we don't see that secondary low developing here. Here's the northern stream branch, that cold front moving to the east, combining forces, and there it's dragging snow all the way down into northern Alabama, North Georgia, eastern Tennessee, into the eastern Ohio, western Pennsylvania, West Virginia area, and up into New York State. This is just before sunrise. Look at this slug of moisture in eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. This will be feeding into all this cold air precipitation shield to the northwest and helping create these mesoscale banding. But a big severe weather outbreak will be occurring from southeast Virginia all the way down into the Panhandle of Florida on Saturday morning as you're waking up for that cup of coffee. Look at that. That's going to be, and there's the rain snow line pivoting through eastern Pennsylvania and eastern New York, and all of this moisture diving down back behind the low pressure. And look at this convective line all the way up to Cape Cod. So we could be dealing with a tremendous amount of severe weather even as it moves off the coast. to the northeast here. And look at this. Lake enhancement kicks in behind it. 967 millibar low. That is pretty intense. And let's see. All right, so let's take a look at the precipitation, the surface map, the track of the low. Starting off with the NAM 3 kilometer. This is the latest one we've got going into the overnight. And we go into Friday. You're dealing with nice clear skies here across the northeast, but look what's right to your west. This is simulated radar. This is why we're starting off with this one. This one really does justice here. It's very high resolution. Cleveland up to Buffalo. We start off with a rain-snow line here. This is right around a couple hours before sunset here, late afternoon. And you see, you really start to get some accumulating snow here into Cleveland, Erie, Buffalo, and up into the St. Lawrence River Valley. And look at this. The rest of the Northeast stays pretty clear until, look at this. We start to get some rain showers fill in from Williamsport, Pittsburgh, up to Binghamton, Charleston, West Virginia. And look at this. We head towards, this is after midnight now, and we're heading towards the really early morning hours. Just before sunrise in Binghamton, that's when the rain-snow line moves through. Take a look at this. Now watch this part closely. You see this heavy snow over here, and that's going to be feeding to the northeast. That's over Pittsburgh down through southern Ohio. Now look at this. You start to get this fill in the eastern Pennsylvania, and the rain-snow line is moving east while this precipitation is moving to the north. This rain line is moving northward here, and that's going to bring in some really heavy snowfall bands. This is where right around sunrise, you're going to be waking up to heavy snow here across Williamsport, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Binghamton, up to Utica. Even the Capital District starting to get in on it here. And look at that. All this moisture is feeding in off the Atlantic, and we really get these deformation bands that set up with these mesoscale bands moving to the northwest. Look at this. This is going to be some pretty intense snow. Mid-morning, we're still dealing with bursts of heavier snow here in the Catskills, Poconos, and this low pressure really winding up across Long Island here. Look at this as it tracks to the north. Simulated radar showing this conveyor belt of moisture continuing out of the northeast across the I-81 corridor. And look at this. Even by afternoon, we're still dealing with this band of snow in the northeast. It finally starts to pinwheel towards the east, and we start to get into New York City and then up towards the rest of New England here. But that is really interesting. That's quite a long duration of snow here. If we take a look, we'll take a look at the GFS here, see what that's going to show. If we take a look, it's pretty similar as we head into right around midnight, and after midnight, that rain-snow line moves to the east, so we get this Friday evening through early morning hours, snow in Cleveland, Buffalo, down through southern Ohio here. Rain-snow line moves through a couple hours just before sunrise in Binghamton and Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Still raining here in Wilkes-Barre and Harrisburg. But then we bring the rain-snow line to Harrisburg right around really close to sunrise or just after sunrise. And then we get these bursts of heavier snow, mesoscale banding moving in here. So we get tremendous amount of snow output, low pressure winding up over down East Maine here, and these snow bands continue behind it. And if we take a look at the high resolution Euro, showing a very similar situation here. If we take a look at later Friday, that rain snow line with that cold front moving through, snowfall in Cleveland, Buffalo, and then take a look at this. We move it into early morning hours of, let's back it up one frame there, just before sunrise here. There it is, a similar position. All the models are showing a similar position here, but the Euro is a bit further east here with its solution, bringing the rain-snow line much further east quicker before noon, and even into northwestern New Jersey and just northwest of Philadelphia here, and then bringing some heavier snow banding going on in the Poconos, Catskills, and then up into the mountains of New England here. And then look at this, bringing the rain-snow line just before sunset here. That low tracking pretty far east with the Euro, as you can see. All right, let's take a look at the wind field with this system, and it really starts to get cranking. This is right around noon. Look at this on Saturday morning. Look at this out on Long Island, 36, 37 miles an hour. But this is the problem right in here where it'll be snowing. See these wind gusts in the 40 mile an hour range. There's the eastern Catskills, 40, 36 around Binghamton, 38 around Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, 35 Syracuse. You're going to have this heavy wet snow change to a light, fluffy, powdery snow, and that is going to blow and drift around with this heavier winds that move in. And look at this, throughout the afternoon into the early evening, some of these gusts get upwards of 40, 50 miles per hour in some of this higher terrain of the Poconos, Catskills, Green Mountains, Berkshires, White Mountains. Look at the down in through parts of West Virginia here as well. Johnstown, Altoona area, 46, 47 mile per hour gusts. And look at that. We're dealing with this a good part of early Sunday morning as well. And it doesn't start to wind up here into eastern New England where you get wind gusts upwards of 40, 50 miles per hour. And you still get wind gusts out here on Cape Cod. Look at that, 40, 58 miles an hour. Eastern Long Island, 46 miles an hour. So there you have it. Wind's going to be a problem. All right, Storm Prediction Center here later Friday night into early Saturday. Enhanced risk here across the Panhandle, Florida, southern Georgia, and then a slight risk here across the rest of southeastern Alabama, Georgia, into South Carolina, and a little bit into North Carolina here. This is where we're going to see the chance of some severe weather, the potential for tornadoes as well. Take a look at the tornado outlook here. We're actually getting towards 10% here in the Panhandle in South Georgia and 5% here into the rest of Georgia and South Carolina and 2% in the green zone here. So really watch out for this later Friday night and Saturday. Panama City area, this is not looking very good at all. This is a very bad area to be in with these kind of dynamics. Hail is looking pretty bad here across from New Orleans all the way over to the, it's not as big though as the wind and tornado threat. If you take a look at the wind threat, here's the wind threat. Look at that, 30% chance in the Panhandle, Florida, up into South Georgia here, and then a 15% chance into the yellow zone here. We'll take a look at the day on Saturday. Here is a slight risk all the way up to Virginia Beach. Virginia here, the Outer Banks of North Carolina. I'm really concerned about this area for Saturday because damaging wind, large hail, tornado threat is possible as well. And if we head into the southeast, we see that stretches across the Tampa, Orlando area, Jacksonville. Thankfully, Panama City by this point, it will be to the east. But look at that. That's a very large area, damaging wind, large hail. Now let's take a look at the simulated radar across the southeast. This is starting off with midday, right around sunrise on Friday, and we'll head into midday here. See these clusters of showers and thunderstorms? This is where things could really get cranking across the south here. We're going to be dealing with some of these individual supercells really getting going. This is into the mid-afternoon hours. Some of these really starting to pack a punch around Panama City. And then there's the low pressure starting to form. So watch how things blossom here as we head into the overnight hours. There's that rain-snow line moving as far south as northern Louisiana and northern part here of Mississippi. And already into Arkansas by this point. Take a look at some of these supercells really start to take over here. You see this? Linear fashion. This is going to be the main line forming here, but out ahead of it, watch out for some of these supercells just before sunrise on Saturday morning. Take a look at that. Damaging wind, large hail, tornado threat is going to be very about a 5-6% chance here in this area of Panama City all the way up into central eastern Georgia, South Carolina. Look at this. We really start to bring it in by about the time of sunrise as you're waking up. It's going to be a really loud wake-up call here for parts of the Panhandle of Florida, eastern Georgia, heading into central South Carolina here. And take a look at this. Line heads east throughout the day. It's going to intensify. So the Carolinas are really going to get hit here. This continues to plow into Florida. Look at how this really solidifies. So there's going to be a big severe weather day. Some of these storms up here in North Carolina could be the most severe, where the biggest dynamics are. And let me bring you up into this. There it is, the line pushing as far south as South Florida. But by the time it reaches Miami late in the evening, it should have weakened by this point. But let's take a look up here in the mid-Atlantic. I want to show you North Carolina, how it fares with these lines of thunderstorms that move through. Look at this. There it is. Big old line of showers and thunderstorms. But look at the snow all the way down into parts of Georgia and Alabama and eastern Tennessee here as well. But look at this line of thunderstorms here, even up into Virginia, southeastern Virginia, by about the time, a couple hours after sunrise. You're getting towards mid-morning here. Look at this line as this low pressure pushes this cold front, strong cold front, lots of dynamics here with this system. And take a look at that. DC, there's the rain snow line, but there's thunderstorms moving through, approaching the Outer Banks, and some of these could be extremely severe, damaging wind, large hail, tornado threat, a big possibility here along the Outer Banks. That's evening hours of Saturday evening before finally moving off the coast. But you see, Cape Cod may get clipped by this convective line out here, so watch out for that. All right, let's take a look at overnight, Thursday night, and Friday morning. There we go. We're warming these temperatures up here. A lot of you are probably going to wonder, well, is there really going to be a snowstorm on Saturday? Watch how warm it gets here. As we progress into the afternoon hours, look at this. We're getting up into the mid to upper 40s across most of upstate New York, Pennsylvania, into parts of New England here. Look at this. 40s all the way up into Syracuse, Binghamton. We're into the mid 40s. Even the Catskills and Poconos were into the 40s. 50 in Harrisburg and New York City. Look at that. And then, as we head towards midnight, Friday night, look at this. There's that rain-snow line. Cleveland 31, 29 in Erie, 31 in Buffalo. We move that to the east a couple hours just before sunrise here. There's that rain-snow line moving through Johnstown and Altoona. And State College, you're still in the rain by this point, but look at that, 34. This is right just before sunrise. You're starting to switch over to rain-snow because you're over to snow in Elmira and Ithaca by this point. Look at this. Look at this cold surge. This system is tapping into really Arctic air behind it, and we got this warm air out ahead of it. You can see this frontal boundary as it moves and interacts with this low-pressure system. Now watch this. This is what I'm a little worried about, and this is what could bring the blizzard conditions in. You get this temperature drop this quickly. This is going to be heavy wet snow changing over to light fluffy powdery snow. So that's where the wind comes into effect, and you're just going to have a mess, blowing and drifting snow, and that's why I'm concerned about blizzard conditions here across portions of upstate New York into northern and eastern Pennsylvania here. So this is going to be very interesting to watch how this plays out, because look how this cold air just intensifies. It's finally through much of western New England by this point in the evening on Saturday evening as we approach a couple hours before midnight here. Look at these temperatures just dropping off a cliff here in the teens across most of upstate New York, pushing the 20-degree line of the Catskills and Poconos here. And look at the wind is going to be howling, so these wind chills are just going to be terrible. And the blowing and drifting snow is just going to continue. And as I finish up here, we are not going to do the regional maps and extended outlook for my hometown viewers, as this is going to be, this video is dedicated to the storm itself for Friday night and Saturday. So the next segment I should include the regional and extended outlook segments. In the meantime, don't forget you can check my micro weather updates on my Facebook page, MeteoMark, also Weather Northeastern, also Twitter @WeatherEastern, MeteoMark.com, WeatherNortheastern.com. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Question or comment down below.